Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 579, The Mysterious Island. Intermediate. As I stepped off the small propeller plane, the warm tropical air enveloped me like a gentle hug. I had been searching for this island for months, ever since I stumbled upon an old map in the attic of my grandfather's mansion. The map showed a mysterious island in the middle of the Pacific, marked with an X. My grandfather had always been tight-lipped about the island, but I was determined to uncover its secrets. I had assembled a team of experts: Jack, a seasoned explorer; Sarah, a marine biologist; and Tom, a cryptologist. Together, we set up our base camp on the island's north shore. Our mission was to uncover the island's hidden treasures and unravel its mysterious past. As we explored the island, we began to notice strange occurrences. Equipment would go missing, and we would hear whispers in the dead of night. It was as if the island was playing tricks on us. Sarah, ever the scientist, attributed it to the island's unique ecosystem, while Jack thought it was the work of a rival treasure hunter. But I knew better. I had a feeling that the island was trying to tell us something. I convinced the team to follow me to the island's central peak, where the X was marked on the map. As we climbed higher, the air grew thick with an eerie fog. Suddenly, we stumbled upon a cave entrance, hidden behind a waterfall. We ventured deeper into the cave, our flashlights casting eerie shadows on the walls. The air grew colder, and I could feel a presence around us. It was as if we were being watched. Tom, ever the cryptologist, began to decipher the ancient symbols etched into the cave walls. Suddenly, the symbols lit up, casting a blue glow throughout the cave. We were in awe as the symbols revealed a hidden message: "Do not disturb the balance." It was then that we realized the island was a sacred site, protected by an ancient civilization. But it was too late. The balance had been disturbed, and the island began to shake. The team and I were swept away by a massive landslide, and I found myself trapped in a small crevice. As I struggled to free myself, I realized the island was trying to protect its secrets. The last thing I saw was Tom's terrified face as the cave collapsed around us. But I knew I had to get out of there. With a final push, I managed to break free and stumbled out into the sunlight. As I looked back at the cave, I saw a massive explosion, and the island began to sink into the ocean. I stumbled back to the plane, the team scattered around me. We made it out just in time, as the island vanished beneath the waves. As I looked back, I knew that some secrets were better left unspoken. Vocabulary notes. Mysterious. Definition: difficult to understand or explain, strange and intriguing. Example: as I stepped off the small propeller plane, the warm tropical air enveloped me like a gentle hug. I had been searching for this mysterious island for months. Similar words: enigmatic, puzzling, intriguing. Propeller. Definition: a device with blades that rotate to produce a flow of air or fluid, often used to propel an aircraft or boat. Example: I stepped off the small propeller plane. Similar words: rotor, fan, turbine. Tropical. Definition: relating to or characteristic of a region near the equator, typically with high temperatures and high humidity. Example: the warm tropical air enveloped me like a gentle hug. Similar words: subtropical, temperate, Arctic. Cryptologist, definition, a person who studies and deciphers codes and ciphers. Example, Tom, a cryptologist, began to decipher the ancient symbols etched into the cave walls. Similar words, cryptographer, codebreaker, analyst. Eerie, definition, giving a feeling of fear or unease, often because something is strange or unexpected. Example, the air grew thick with an eerie fog. Similar words, spooky, creepy, foreboding. Cryptic, definition, mysterious or obscure in meaning, hard to understand. Example, the symbols were cryptic, but Tom was able to decipher them. Similar words, enigmatic, puzzling, obscure. Sacred, definition, considered to be holy or worthy of reverence. Example, the island was a sacred site, protected by an ancient civilization. Similar words, holy, revered, venerated. Disturb, definition, to cause trouble or disruption to something or someone. Example, the balance had been disturbed and the island began to shake. Similar words, disrupt, interrupt, interfere. Landslide, definition, a sudden movement of rock, soil or other material down a slope, often caused by heavy rain or other natural forces. Example, the team and I were swept away by a massive landslide. Similar words, avalanche, rockfall, mudslide. Collapse, definition, to fall or give way suddenly, often due to a loss of support or stability. Example, the cave collapsed around us. Similar words, crumble, fall, topple. Story written by Leo AI. Image created by Imagio AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, Unicorn Heads.
Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping headfirst into a really cool adventure story. We're going to follow the mystery all the way to its dramatic end, and you know what? Along the way, we'll pick up some of the key English words the author uses to make it all feel so real. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the very first line of the story. You can almost feel that, can't you? The author just drops us right onto the island. The words propeller plane and tropical air immediately paint this vivid picture in your head. It's amazing how this one sentence totally sets the mood for the entire adventure. So here's our game plan. We're going to break down the story into 4 main parts. We'll start with the mission, then things get a little spooky, we'll get a big warning, and finally, we'll see what lesson comes out of it all. This will help us follow the plot and all the new words we're going to learn. Okay, part 1. Our story kicks off with a classic adventure setup. You've got it all. An old map, a destination that's totally off the grid, and a team of experts who think they're ready for anything. Or so they think. It all starts when our narrator finds this map, stashed away in his grandfather's attic. And the word that really gets this whole thing going, the one that drives the entire story, is mysterious. See, the island isn't just a place they don't know about. It's got this pull, this intrigue that the narrator just can't resist.
So let's pause on that word, mysterious. This is a great one. When something's mysterious, it's more than just unknown. It's kind of strange, it's fascinating, and it makes you want to figure it out. It's like a puzzle you have to solve. It is the perfect word for an island marked with a big X on an old map, right?
And remember that opening line? He got there on a small propeller plane. A propeller is that spinning thing with blades you see on the front of some planes. It might seem like a small detail, but it tells you something important. It suggests this island is remote, probably pretty hard to get to, which just adds to that feeling of adventure.
Now, our narrator knew he couldn't do this alone. So he put together a team of specialists. You've got Jack, the guy who's seen it all,
the seasoned explorer. Then there's Sarah, a marine biologist who studies life in the ocean. And then there's Tom, and his job is really, really interesting.
So this is what Tom does. He's a cryptologist, basically a professional code breaker. The narrator had a hunch that this mission wasn't just about finding a spot on a map and digging. He figured there'd be puzzles to solve. And bringing a cryptologist, that was a very smart move, and as we're about to see, a very necessary one.
All right, let's move into the second part of our story. This is where things start to get, well, a little weird. The team is on the island, but the adventure takes a darker turn. It almost feels like the island itself is trying to stop them. This is where the suspense really cranks up. Just imagine you're there. Your gear starts to disappear. You hear what sounds like whispers in the middle of the night, but there's no one there. What do you think is going on? Is it a person messing with them, or is it something else?
And of course, the team can't agree on what's happening. Their theories really show you how they think. Sarah, the scientist, is looking for a logical, natural cause. Maybe it's the island's weird ecosystem. But Jack, the explorer, he thinks it's human. He's convinced a rival treasure hunter is trying to scare them off. The narrator, though, he's not so sure about either of them.
So they decide to push on, ignoring all the strange stuff, heading for that X on the map. And as they get closer, the whole vibe changes. A fog rolls in, but the story describes it as eerie. And eerie is another fantastic word. It's that feeling you get when something is just off. It's spooky, it's creepy, it makes the hair on your arms stand up. The author uses this word to turn a simple fog into a warning sign. It's a signal that they are going somewhere they probably shouldn't be.
And that brings us to Act 3. This is the climax of the story. They find a hidden cave, and inside, they find their answer. But it is not the treasure they were expecting at all.
This is it. This is what they find. Tom, our cryptologist, he works his magic on these ancient symbols on the cave wall, and this is the message he uncovers. So simple, but so powerful. It's not a map to gold. It's a warning.
And this message reveals what the island truly is. It's not just some random rock in the ocean. It's sacred. And that means it's a holy place, a place that deserves the highest respect, a place that's meant to be left alone. This changes everything. Their mission was never about finding treasure. It was about trespassing.
That's a chilling thought, isn't it? That moment of realization hits them just a second too late. Just by being there, by entering the cave and reading that message, they've already broken the rule. They have disturbed the balance.
Let's be really clear what disturb means here. It's not just about making a little noise or a mess. It means they've interfered with something. They've disrupted a fragile, ancient system. And now, there are going to be consequences.
And the consequences are instant and they are catastrophic. First, a landslide. A huge piece of the mountain just breaks off and comes roaring down at them. Then, the cave itself starts to collapse, rocks and dirt falling from the ceiling and walls. And finally, the entire island starts to sink, pulling its secrets back down into the ocean. Okay, so let's get to our final act. What happens after all that chaos? Well, the team makes a narrow escape, but the experience changes the narrator forever. He learns a lesson in the most terrifying way imaginable. Before we get to that final thought, let's do a quick recap of all the great vocabulary we've covered. We saw how all these words, from mysterious to collapse, were used to build the story's feeling and its action. This is a great time to hit pause and just look over this list one more time. And this is the last line of the story. It's kind of haunting. The narrator gets away, but he's a different person. He went looking for secrets and treasure, but what he found was a powerful warning about how far our curiosity should go. And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Yeah, the story is about a real island, but the idea behind it is so much bigger. It makes you wonder, in our own lives, in science or in history, are there some mysteries we shouldn't try to solve? What secrets really are better left unspoken? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.